Hello guys and guides, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I want to be showing you how to make a YouTube banner. Ever since I did my how to make an intro tutorial, you guys have been requesting this, so it's been a little bit of a while, but I thought I'd go ahead and make this for you guys so you could learn how to make your own banners that look amazing, kind of like this one. Now the cool thing about this tutorial is that you can basically customize it to your liking. There is pretty much no limit. You can just be creative and by no means follow this tutorial to the T. You can go off and, like, if you have weird inspirations from this tutorial, you can go and do that. But I'm just gonna show you guys how to make something kind of like this. I'm gonna go through it step by step for you guys. So the first thing you want to do is download the template I have linked in the description. It's going to be the banner template, and you're basically going to go ahead and download that, and then you're going to open up that file in Photoshop. So it'll be a .zip, but inside the zip file you'll have your banner template, and you'll basically want to open that with Photoshop, and you'll be greeted with this template. Now this is just the bare bones. It just gives you the layout, and if you press Control semicolon, you'll see that I've already inputted like the safe area. So the safe area for YouTube, this is the area that will be shown on all devices. That is desktop, mobile, TVs. Everything inside the region I'm showing right now will be shown on all those devices. If you go outside of that, it might only be shown by like maybe a desktop, or if you're all the way out here, it's only going to be shown by someone who views your channel on a TV. So you want to cram all of your important stuff right inside this inner box, because that's going to guarantee that everyone gets to see it. If you put it out in the corners over here or something, chances are some of your viewers will not be able to see it because they are not on devices that show the full banner. It's a little bit tricky, a lot more different than YouTube's old system with backgrounds and headers and stuff like that, but I just want to show you that so you don't put something out here and then have people not be able to see it. So anyways, let's just get on with the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is actually, if you click on the background layer right here and you press Control U on your keyboard, it's going to bring up this hue saturation dialog, and you can basically play around with this and see what color you want to get. I usually like to do this both before and after I've finished. The reason why I do it before and after is before to get it looking nice, and then after, once I have everything in, to see if my color preferences change depending on what I've already put in. So that's a good color. I already saw that it worked out well from my example. And then we're just going to go ahead and add some text. So if you go over here to the left and hit the text button, and then you click anywhere in here and then type in your name, you'll see it will add text. Now that's really cool. Now the first thing you want to do is type your name, obviously, and select it all, and then go up here to where it says the size, and you're going to want to jack that up to get a nice good size on your name. And then you're going to want to try to center it by clicking outside and then dragging, and that looks about right. I'm going to put some text underneath it, so I'm just going to leave it a little bit high for now. You're going to want to make sure your text layer, this one right here, it'll look like this, is above your background viewable layer. That'll make sure it doesn't get distorted by the background viewable and turn slightly gray. So make sure you have that above, and it'll be nice and pearly white. We're going to do some cool effects on it in just a second, but first let's get our subtext in. So I'm just going to type in my subtext. So gameplay and commentary. I'm going to select all that, and then I'm going to shrink the size. Right about there, it looks nice. Yeah. Alright, so now we have that all figured out. Press Control T on your keyboard, by the way, if you just want to move it and resize it like that, or even rotate it, heck. And then Escape if you don't want to save those changes. And then if you do some moving and resizing and you want to keep it, press Enter. So there's that. Anyways, let's go ahead and put some nice nifty kind of styling on it. So I'm going to select both my text layers, and I'm going to drag them down to this little folder icon right here, and that's going to put them inside of a folder. I'm going to double click the name on the folder to name it text. That'll basically let you know what's inside that folder if it's not open. And then we're going to double click on the, or actually you can just go ahead and right click and then blending options. For those of you, double clicking might get confusing, so we can just right click blending options. We're going to go over to the gradient overlay. Click right here, don't click the check mark, click over here. That'll take you to it. If you just click the check mark, it's not going to take you to that screen. So click inside that area. That'll take you to the gradient overlay screen. You're basically going to want to click on this right here. And then we're basically going to drag these two bottom things in. If you drag them both inward. Whoops. So instead of doing blending options on the folder, it was my bad. Right click on each one of your, the top text layer thingy, and then go to blending options. I thought it was on the folder, but apparently not. So go down to gradient overlay. My bad. Double click that and then bring these in. So same thing. I just did it on the wrong layer, so I'm sorry about that. So bring those in nice and tight, right about there, and you're gonna click OK. Now it doesn't look too great right now, but you're gonna want to bring down the opacity so it looks like it's got some nice shading on it. So that looks about right. I'm gonna go ahead and click OK. I'm gonna right click on the layer we just got done adding the effect to. I'm gonna go down to copy layer style. Now that we have it copied, let's go down to the text layer that doesn't have it on it. We're gonna right click and we're gonna paste it. Paste layer style. And that's gonna just make it so that the other text has it as well. Now if you go back to blending options, I might actually want to make it a little bit more intense on the main text. So I'll just play with the opacity. Next up, we're going to want to do a drop shadow. So I'm going to click on the drop shadow and then I'm going to bring up the opacity, maybe mess around with these. There's no set values, so just go ahead and play with them. See what looks nice. I think that looks good. Yeah. Alright. So that's good. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to do blending options on the subtext and add a drop shadow to that one as well. The reason why we didn't just do this first and then copy it over is because that the drop shadow is going to have to be a little bit different because the text is smaller. So there's that. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now what we can do is just click on the folder itself and hit Control T, and that'll move everything inside the folder. I'm just going to go ahead and center that the best I can. Alright, so now we got our text done, it's time to add some characters. So I know a lot of you don't have like Cinema 4D or any 3D render programs to render out your Minecraft character. This can work for anything besides Minecraft as well. If you want to put in like other images, by all means do this. I'm just going to show you how to put Minecraft characters in there. So I'm going to go over. By the way, if you want a different font from the one I show right here, you can actually download a cool one from defont.com. I really like this site. I just find myself browsing it sometimes to find like really cool fonts. But if you want to change the text, you just basically find one you like, click on it, and then download it. And then there should be a font file inside of the .zip that it downloads, and then you can just install that font. Once you have it installed, you can actually just get on your text tool and then click on one of your texts, and it'll select it for you. Just select all the text, and then you just go ahead and change the text. You change the font. So that's how you do that. Let's go ahead to getting our Minecraft character in there. So we're gonna be using a website called Novaskin, and basically when you get to Novaskin, you're gonna want to click on Start Editing Your Skin Now, and it's gonna bring you here. You're basically gonna type your Minecraft name. Capitals matter, so it's my name. Hit enter, and then it's gonna load up your skin. And then you're gonna go over to the Pose tab right here, and we're basically gonna be playing around with these to make your Minecraft character do crazy poses that does not look. Oh boy, that is creepy. Okay. Anyways, I've already gone ahead and made some cool poses right here. These are equally as creepy, so don't even worry. Basically, when you're done changing all these pose values right here, it may take a while, but it's kind of fun in my opinion. Here are my values, just in case you want to copy mine. I don't know. But be creative with it, guys. Just play around with it. Honestly, there's no good way to do this. It's just playing around, see what you get. And then you're going to want to go up to the top right corner and click the camera icon. And it's going to give you this. You're going to want to right click and then open image in new tab. This is only if you're using Google Chrome. If you're not, just right click and save image as, or whatever equivalent you have. But Google Chrome, right click, open image in new tab, and then you get this in the new tab, and you're basically going to drag it out onto your desktop or somewhere convenient. I don't know where you want to put it. There's that. Let me go do the other one. So click the camera icon, right click, open image in new tab, go to that new tab, and then put it on your desktop. They will have the same name, so make sure you rename the first one you do to like PNG1 or something. If you want to go full-fledged and name it something like Skin or the Guard Eye Skin or whatever, you can do that as well. So now we got those. I can kind of discard these tabs, but I'll keep them open just in case. If you refresh the page, I do not think the pose will stay, so I'm just going to keep those there just in case anything happens. Alright, so I'm going to minimize that and go back to Photoshop, and I'm going to drag in my first image. Now there it is. I'm basically going to resize it and then move it wherever I want. He is currently blocking the text and his head is clipping outside of the viewable area, so I'm just going to go ahead and fix that. So his head's inside, but he's still in front of the text, so I'm basically going to drag him below the text. As you can see, it's indented right here, so it is inside the text folder, and you'll also see that if I close and open it. So you're going to want to drag it out of the text folder just to keep everything organized. Alright, so now he's behind the text. As you probably noticed from the example, he didn't look quite so flat. So we're going to go ahead and go to blending options yet again. And we're going to give him some 3D styling just to kind of liven him up a little bit. So we're going to go to inner glow, and what the default is good. I might want to bring the size down, and the opacity definitely should go down. And that kind of gives his edges a softer look. Next we're going to go to inner shadow. That's basically going to give some of the edges a darker tint. Basically going to bring up the opacity on that, and then the size maybe a little bit. That's going to give him some depth. Finally, we're going to go and give him a drop shadow as well. Bring up the size, spread maybe a little bit. Going to play around with it. Yet again, with all these blending effects, there is no right one, so just play around with it. That is the key, to figure out what looks best and just fiddle. Alright, so there we go. That is that. Let's go drop in the next one. So this is my other picture. And then I'm basically going to center that. So that looks pretty good right there. And we don't want to do that whole process over again. So on the one you've already done all the shading on, you're going to want to right click, copy layer style, go to your new image, and then paste it. There you go. Saves you a whole bunch of time. Alright, so that's that. Our character's in. Now it's just a little bit of styling that I think looks nice. You may or may not want to do. So I'm going to go over to my text right here. I'm going to select the folder. Oh, might want to minimize these just to save space. There we go. So select your text folder. Hit Control D on your keyboard. It'll ask you if you want to duplicate it. You can click OK. You're going to want to right click that. Convert to Smart Object. So now you have a text copy. Before we do that, actually, I'm going to Control Z. We want to get rid of the layer styling on the new duplicate. So we're going to basically click the FX. Or, yeah, we're going to click the eyeball next to the FX thing. And we're going to get rid of those. So you notice how it takes away all the styling. Now close your duplicate folder. And now do the Convert to Smart Object. Now we're going to rasterize it. And we're going to go up to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. As you can see, it does a lot. What you're going to basically do, it's blowing it out right now because it's on top. So just get it to a good sizable amount. About 1100 or 1200 does it pretty good. Click OK, and then drag it below your text folder. And that's going to basically put it behind, and it's going to give it that kind of nice sheen effect. Go to your text copy. I would suggest renaming it to something like blur _ text. And then you're going to want to bring down the opacity to a nice non-distracting level. Alright, one other thing just kind of bugging me. Ooh, that kind of opened up. Okay. That's bugging me is go to your text layers. And I'm going to change the blending options a little bit so the drop shadow is a little bit more prevalent. So I'm going to bring up this is on the subtext. I'm going to go to my main text. I'm going to go to the drop shadow, bring up the spread, just so you can kind of pops out in comparison to the stuff behind it. So there we go. That's pretty much that. There's just a few more things. If you go down to your background viewable, click that layer, and then click the little page, the little paper page right here. That'll create a new layer. We're gonna name this shading. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and click up here where it says normal. We're gonna change it to overlay. And now we're basically going to get our gradient tool right here. It's this one. If you do not see it, click and hold on it, and then you'll see it right here. So click the gradient tool, and we're gonna go here. We're gonna click this one right here, and then we're gonna double click this. Change it to white. Okay. Okay. Now we're basically just gonna wanna click on the radial gradient tool little option right here. It's the little circle. We're gonna click in the middle, and we're gonna drag out, and it's gonna create that nice sort of shading in the middle. That's gonna keep it a little bit dynamic and a little bit less boring to look at and flat. We're gonna go from each corner in. That's gonna kind of give it a nice warm feeling. Might want to redo those four and drag a little bit further. I'm just gonna drag from each corner to the opposite corner. And there we go. It's looking pretty nice. That one's a little bit too much. Let's try to keep the balance right. And then maybe up here. Something like this. There we go. Oh, no, this one's too little. Okay, well, you can play around with it. I think that's good. But now you kind of got a nice dynamic feel. And now, if you follow all steps correctly, we've kind of kept it dynamic in the being that if you go to your background layer, once again, and you click Control U, you can actually still change the color and it'll affect everything on it. So that is, in my opinion, really, really cool. It'll take some of the like lighter or like more saturated colors to see the shading that we just did. It looks the best on the orange, the shading. As you can see, kind of got the nice bright corners and then the dark center. Alright, so before I do my outro, you just want to save it real quickly. So we go up to here to File, and then Save As. And you're going to want to click down to PNG. You're going to name it something like My Banner. Go to your desktop or whatever. Click Save. Okay. And it's going to be right there once it finishes saving. Progress right here, 10%, and it's done. So now you can just open this up, and it'll be all there, and make sure everything's correct. And then once you've done that, you can go to YouTube, and then go to your channel, and then hover over your banner, and then edit banner image, and then you can upload this handy little file right here. So that's that. I think that's pretty much the whole tutorial. I'm pretty sure I didn't skip over anything. If I check my banner example, right here, I don't think yeah, it looks pretty much the same. So I think I covered everything. That's a good sign that I did. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to go hit like on this video. Really helps out a lot. Make sure to share this on Twitter and Facebook if you have any friends that you think would benefit from this tutorial. By all means, share it with your friends as well. It really helps out. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's pretty much it. I really hope it helped. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'm sure me or someone else would be more than happy to help you out with your situation. So yeah, links to the template down in the description. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to keep this under 20 minutes. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. press Control semicolon, you'll see that I have already inputted like the safe area. So the safe area for YouTube, this is the area that will be shown on all devices. That is desktop, mobile, TVs. Everything inside the region I'm showing right now will be shown on all those devices. If you go outside of that, it might only be shown by like maybe a desktop, or if you're all the way out here, it's only going to be shown by someone who views your channel on a TV. So you want to cram all of your important stuff right inside this inner box. Hello guys and gaiads, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I want to be showing you how to make a YouTube banner. Ever since I did my how to make an intro tutorial, you guys have been requesting this, so it's been a little bit of a while, but I thought I'd go ahead and make this for you guys so you could learn how to make your own banners that look amazing, kind of like this one. Now the cool thing about this tutorial is that you can basically customize it to your liking. There is pretty much no limit. You can just be creative and by no means follow this tutorial to the T. You can go off and like, if you have weird inspirations from this tutorial, you can go and do that. But I'm just gonna show you guys how to make something kind of like this. I'm gonna go through it step by step for you guys. So the first thing you want to do is download the template I have linked in the description. It's going to be the banner template, and you're basically going to go ahead and download that, and then you're going to open up that file in Photoshop. So it'll be a .zip, but inside the zip file you'll have your banner template, and you'll basically want to open that with Photoshop, and you'll be greeted with this template. Now this is just the bare bones. It just gives you the layout, and if it's going to bring up this hue saturation dialog. And you can basically play around with this and see what color you want to get. I usually like to do this both before and after I've finished. The reason why I do it before and after is before to get it looking nice, and then after, once I have everything in, to see if my color preferences change depending on what I've already put in. So that's a good color. I already saw that it worked out well from my example. And then we're just going to go ahead and add some text. So if you go over here to the left and hit the text button, because that's gonna guarantee that everyone gets to see it. If you put it out in the corners over here or something, chances are some of your viewers will not be able to see it because they are not on devices that show the full banner. It's a little bit tricky, a lot more different than YouTube's old system with backgrounds and headers and stuff like that, but I just want to show you that so you don't put something out here and then have people not be able to see it. So anyways, let's just get on with the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is actually, if you click on the background layer right here and you press Control U on your keyboard,